Folks, welcome back to Rugby Ascendant segment. Well, here it is. This is what we waited for. Well, maybe we hope this would be a final, but it's a quarterfinal at the Stade de France, which you can see is my backdrop. And that photograph, that image, is one that I took in the South Africa-Ireland game back on the 23rd of September when I was in Paris for this game. Yeah, well, this is for all the marbles. Last night, we saw arguably the best game of the Rugby World Cup, in which Ireland once again choked and again does not get past the quarterfinals, something they've never accomplished in Rugby World Cup history. Another choke last night. New Zealand taking advantage of big defensive laps, especially for that first try. And Ireland arrogantly, stubbornly refusing to take easy points on offer repeatedly, which cost them in the end. Plus, of course, Johnny Sexton, the great legendary Johnny Sexton, missing a couple of relatively easy kicks that cost them. So New Zealand advances, which many people picked. And while I wanted Ireland to win that game, on my Super Brew, I did pick New Zealand to win by 3. They won by 4. So I came out all right on that. But let's talk about this. Some final thoughts on the Springboks versus France before this game kicks off. Okay, first off, people accuse South Africa fans of whining about the officiating. So let's get this officiating thing out of the way. Blind as a bat, Ben O'Keefe will be calling this game once again. He was also the official on the 23rd of September when Bundi Aki lifted Jesse Creel down here in this corner and collapsed the maul inside 5 meters. That is a penalty try, and the Springboks win that game, most likely. But that didn't happen. So let's get that out of the way. You can't have anything marginal in this game. O'Keefe seems to think that scrums are simply to restart the game. They're not a contest of wills, which in fact they are a contest of wills. So this is something that's going to hurt South Africa, whose scrum normally is pretty strong. So that strength may be negated a bit because of the style of O'Keefe's officiating. But let's not blame this on the official, because it's not up to the official. It's up to the players on the pitch. They are the ones who have to do it. They have to get it done. And in this game, the Springboks have gone with a selection looking for playmakers. And who are those playmakers? Well, Monty Lubick at fly half and Cobus Reinach at scrum half, both of whom have proven to be fantastic in this World Cup. Now, you're going to say, wait a second, Chris, Monty can't hit the broadside of a barn. Well, he definitely had some kicking woes in this World Cup pool stage. But Monty Lubick, when he's in form with his kicking, is very good. And his playmaking is unbelievable. He distributes the ball. His kicks are fantastic. He knows what he's doing. So is this a risk? I don't think so. I don't know that Pollard is fully back in condition. He looked pretty good against Tonga, but that was just a one-off performance. We didn't get a chance to see him. So what about Faf de Klerk? Well, Faf is predictable and reliable, but we don't need predictable and reliable tonight. We need exciting, dynamic, and playmaking, because France will be bringing it. The French do not want to lose a quarterfinal and go out this early at home in Paris at the Stade de France as the host of the World Cup. That's not something they want to do. And a lot of conspiracy theorists seem to think that that's something World Rugby will never allow to happen. Well, that's up to the players on the pitch. Just take a look at what happened with Uruguay. Namibia, who had an awful, atrocious World Cup, played their final game against Uruguay. And Gershwin Mouton stole a pass and ran back and scored a try. And then they scored another try in short order, and suddenly we're leading Uruguay 14-0. But their heads did remain calm. Their discipline became very poor in the second half. And despite leading 23-12, lost that game. It's at 39-26, I think, in the end. South Africa has to do the same thing. Get points. If points aren't offered, take them. Make the points. Don't be stubborn like Ireland and squander points. New Zealand took the points, and look what happened. They won the game. Yeah, look at Fiji. Well, Fiji's not a good example. Look at Argentina. That's a better example. Argentina scored its first 12 points off the tee, and they won that game against Wales because the game got better for them, and they scored later with tries. So let's just talk about the matchups here. So I think that that's a brilliant dynamic pairing of Monty Lubick and Cobus Reinach. So beyond that, we really need some good work out of Damien Willemse with his kicks and distributing the ball back there. Curtly Arnse and Cheslin Colby are great picks on the wings, but they were contained in recent games. They need to step it up here. They need to get something done. In Tonga, they didn't get much done. This game, they need to get a Cheslin Colby, who's been a tremendously reliable breakaway player, and Curtly Arnse, a beautiful, fresh breath of air on the pitch. Both have got to get those breakaways and score. And the Springboks need to stop making stupid mistakes and not have ill discipline. Don't be coming in from the side of the ruck. Don't be off your feet. You know that Ben O'Keefe is going to call that stuff. It's a very disciplined approach. No slow ball. Keep things going. The blunt force trauma approach that South Africa used against Ireland will not work in this game. It will not work. You're not going to wear France down. You think you can, but you're not. The French, for their part, must be a little apprehensive and concerned about how fit Antoine Dupont is, despite the clearance that he can play. And I guess we'll find out in the first 20 minutes how fit he is. As we saw in that last game, Johnny Sexton wasn't so fit in the last 20 minutes against New Zealand. He looked a bit gassed, and that kind of hurt his team. But it wasn't just Johnny Sexton's fault. It was a lot of players' fault. So what happens here? It should be a fantastic game. And again, no stupid penalties. Take the points on offer. Play consistent, play reliable, and do not make dumb, undisciplined mistakes. And that should see the Springboks through to the semifinal.